Good evening, George.
Good evening, Treb. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, my friend, and how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Yes! Rochelle's not here this evening, but I still wish to express the idea. Good evening to her as well. Um, I know that this evening you have many questions for many other entities, so whenever you are ready to begin, you may.
Okay, thank you, Treb.
Yes!
Treb, the first question comes from Deborah, and she's interested in finding out more about the Venusian entities and how they relate to us. Her question is, there is a Ra social memory complex which is of sixth density and has shared through channeling, but are there other civilizations helping? In the Ra material, it was said that Venus supports fifth and sixth density life. There was also material known as dialogue with a hidden hand in which individual claimed to be from a sixth density social memory complex, also from Venus, known as Lucifer, which is the head of what is known as the Illuminati.
Yes, the ideas of channeled information that comes from the Venusian collective consciousness, the ideas that remembering that in all channeling, there is the idea of entity connecting to entity to co-create an experience. So much of the belief systems of an entity may interfere or impede with an information that is coming through. Not necessarily impede, but perhaps we will express the idea. It paints it in a specific uh, function or a specific view of one entity, comparing to the entity who it connects to. So, in the idea of both of these ideas, the raw material being sent from the sixth density collective consciousness is a connection that is made with these entities. These entities who are within the sixth density collective consciousness still are in physical reality into the sixth density, or what you would say to be some entities would say to be semi-physical idea, and these entities are still there within the fifth density collective consciousness or fifth density entities upon Venus. Within this matrix, there is not a fifth density entities, but there are entities within several different matrices that do have a collective consciousness of fifth density in their own existence. But this does not directly affect or interfere with the system that you have here. Um, these entities from Venus, there has been many civilizations upon this planet. If you express the idea of four separate civilizations, two of them are in non-physical, one of them is in the mid to end of its sixth density, and the other is what you would say to be in a separate matrices within this fifth density as well. So all of these Venusian connections are being truly made from this collective consciousness of these entities. But this is not any new idea to humanity as it understands that the Martian area has had collective physical consciousnesses and collective consciousness as well.
Okay, thank you, Treb.
Yes!
The next question comes from Raphael, and his question is he was wondering if you can recommend some tips or some kind of information about channeling and astral travel.
Yes, there is many concepts of how to do this. Let us express a few ideas that the host is using when he is learning to connect to astral projection and also to the idea of channeling. Within an astral projected state, the idea is to find how to feel the energetic flows within the chakra systems. Once you are able to do this, then you are able to feel each one individually. You are able to move energy from one to the next. And then after these steps, you are able to feel all of them at once. And when you are able to feel all of them at once, plus being able to manipulate from one to the other, moving the energy, then you are placing all of the energies in the chakra system into the third eye area. And once it is built up there, then you must release it through the crown chakra. This will allow you to have instantaneous astral projection in the physical bodies. But there are many ways to astral project, as there is in sleep states, as there is in some entities using sleep deprivation, some using sensory deprivation chambers. There are many techniques to do this. It vary to each entity, depending on your own consciousness, your own beliefs, and your own ability to be more of you than what normal restrictions, if you will, of the earth idea normally allows you to be. So, being the greatest you that you can be helps achieve this goal. This helps you sign an energetic signature within you that aligns more up to what the higher astral projected state is. This helps allow this, but the idea of channeling is the ability to do this astral state. Or, if you do not wish to trans channel, there is also the opening up of neutrality within your own mind, within your own energy, and the acceptance that connecting to the higher self is a normal idea. Many entities who do not channel in a trance are often able to switch this consistently with their own mindset. They are only doing this by allowing vibrations of their higher self to coincide with themselves and their own consciousness to be able to produce a co created existence of information and also energy. So, there are many ways to do this, but the greatest and first step to all entities is being the greatest them that they are able to be in all moments in time. To be able to have less resistance within your own existence from day to day. And this truly is the first stepping stone to opening yourself up to how you would see exterior energies. The second step is not to see these as external energies. They are truly a part of your own consciousness. They are a part of your own consciousness as much as the entity who sits next to you. So, reminding yourself of this will be two great stepping stones to be able to help assist you into the further techniques that each one of you will individually go through.
Great. Thank you, Treb.
Yes!
The next question comes from Emma, and her question is, can you say the words that will inspire me to actions without the fear/resistance? I acknowledge they are there. I am not aware of what they truly are, yet they are there. Maybe I should ask, what are the belief point blank that keep me from living my highest joys, desires, and wanting? I want to change this now, for I am the one who built the wall. Why?
To do this in a very specific manner will be very impossible for me at this time, as the specific belief systems and the energetic makeup of an individual must be connected to and seen. And within my own belief systems, I do not allow myself to enter another's energy without them being there in the moment, without them being there and giving their full permission to connect to their energy, but within a general idea of what holds entities to their own negative belief systems, what does not allow them to act, what allows them to fear, is they are always fearing that even if they are in a negative state, that if they make great changes in their existence, that the changes could become worse. That what comes ahead can still be more difficult than what is there now. And if you do not resonate with what is there now, then it is a very great thing to fear. But the idea is to understand that there is nothing to fear. In the time of now, you are able to choose your own beliefs. You are able to choose your own choices and actions within them. You are able to see anything in the light that you wish to see it in and act accordingly. And if you remind yourself of your divine nature, if you remind yourself that you are connected to the Creator, that you are a creator of your own universe, that every entity, including myself, that you are seeing or experiencing is truly only manifested from within you to begin with. This gives you the sense of an idea of how powerful you are as a creator. So, reminding your divinity, reminding of your creative ability, and being who you wish to be in every moment, who you truly are, there is no room for resistance in this lifestyle.
Wonderful. Thank you, Treb.
Yes!
The next question comes from Rajan, and his question is he wants to know more about Mahavatar Babaji, who is greatly revered in India, and also about Paramahansa Yogananda, who took the Kriya teachings to the West.
These entities' names have no specific meaning to me, and as I am not connected to you, I am not able to perceive an energetic signature. So I am not sure of how to be able to connect to this idea. And even if I am speaking to you directly, these two entities are sovereign beings. They are their own entities, and unless they have ingrained themselves in a collective consciousness quite deeply, I will not be able to look inside the energy without the individual's permissions. So this idea is not able to be expressed.
Okay, yes, I understand, Treb. Thank you.
Yes.
The next question, Treb, comes from Marco. His question is, he's becoming increasingly concerned with his mother and father and how they interact and feel, etc. They constantly fight, only to make up starting fights again in 2 days. Every time I try to sit down with my mother, shamelessly sitting and hoping that everything would stop, trying to make myself emotionless so that mother has at least something to lean on or depend on. But in that reality is doing worse than good. The root of the problem, as far as I can tell without going too far into detail, is that I feel like my mother feels unloved and unwanted by my father and other family members like my sister. Do you have any advice on what I can do? She does listen to your videos and talks and attempts to use teachings and core concepts, but eventually everything falls back into place.
Yes, I wish to express the idea that because I am not connecting to this, this is not a specific idea, but this is a very general aspect that generically covers this specifically in the human environment. The idea that you are worrying about this connection, that you are taking much of your energy and removing your own feelings, this is not a healthy place to begin with. Even though you are doing this as a thought to assist these two entities, you are truly giving up your own power. You are giving up your own ability to create your own existence. And you are co creating this entire existence with this family. So, the greatest idea for you to be able to help both of these entities is to love them both, to accept both of their moods, to accept both of their ideals, and understand that this is a very great way for them both to manifest a circumstance and reality in which they choose to exist. They are both here for an experience, and as they are both fighting with each other, it is truly their own selves that they are fighting with. They are not truly angry or mad or hateful to the other entity. It is something that is within them that they do not see, or that they see and do not wish to accept. So the idea is to speak to both of them in a loving way, to accept all answers that come from their mouths, and to express to them that they are loved not only by you, but by the Creator Himself. And if they are open to accept this love, then they will be able to turn this love in on themselves. And if they are able to love themselves in a very high degree, if they are able to see their own divinity within them, and if they are able to approach this idea as even if one entity is doing something against my own wishes, that this is a co creation and I must accept this other entity's growth, this other entity's actions, this other entity's beliefs, as well as I am my own, then perhaps this would help assist in the calming of this. But when you tend to worry about entities, when you tend to become scared for them, then you are truly adding negative energy into the co creation of this disagreement. So remind yourself when you begin to worry that if I worry, I will only add to this, so I must release this fear and express this idea to both of them. If your mother is an entity who understands the teachings and tries to apply them in her own existence, then remind her of this herself, that she must let go of what others are doing, must accept their own will, and must love herself in her own way to not be offended deeply by this other entity.
Wow, that's great, Treb. Thank you so much.
Yes!
The next question comes from Sammy, and he'd like to ask the question, does your planet have many types of martial arts that it uses, and do you have any events or any so-called organizations that set them up on Earth? I've also discovered that one of my purposes for being on Earth is to go into the political area of Earth and areas related to that in order to create big changes in the educational system and other things.
Yes! Within the martial art idea, this has been expressed that in our ancient selves, in our mid fourth density selves, we had what you would say to be competitive martial art style, and we are using this for physical activity as fun, still to this day. There is not several styles. Each entity has their own style, as each entity's consciousness is manifested outwardly into a competitive style of competition. This is an old reptilian entity tradition that we have learned from generation to generation from the third density selves, and this is ingrained into our society. The way that humans compete, this is not the same way that you compete. So, in your eyes, perhaps it is not a competition, it is only a showing of our own manifestational abilities in comparison to others simultaneously. So within this idea, there is a great many things that can be done to have fun with this idea. And within the other idea of being wishing to go into a congressional state or into a political state, if you will, to adjust this, this is how changes are made. If you believe that being in this political state will help you manifest these ideas, then this is your greatest goal and greatest desire, then I wish to express to you to continue the actions that it must take for you to be able to ingrain yourself into the society of political idealisms and to bring your own consciousness and energy into this. Just remember that when you are co creating with entities who do not wish to see new ideas, you must not be dragged down by this. You must see your own idealisms as wonderful and beautiful, and you must be willing to express these ideas despite the ridicule that you might see to get.
Great. Thank you, Treb.
Yes!
The next question comes from Paul. His question is, what is the sixth density appearance and capability that unique to us and other densities?
The sixth density is what you would say to be the last stop before non-physical. After the sixth density is the seventh density oversoul, and then a group souls, and then what you would say to be the collective consciousness that manifests the physical earth, Gaia, if you will. So within the sixth density being the last stop at the physical reality, there are many appearances. This truly depends on the entities um, what their specific attributes are. There are many types of sixth density entities. As you see a sixth density entity in an astral state, most of them will appear to be one of two ways. They will either appear to be complete light beings, or they will appear to be angelic or demonic by nature, depending on the idealisms of the type 1 versus type 2 entities. When a sixth density entity manifests itself into the sixth density, when they are able to evolve into the state of consciousness, in a astral state, they are always very light in consciousness, very light in physical makeup. But as you see them physically, their attributes shall change from entity to entity. Such as Aridif's nation. Aridif's people are very short and very blue, very purplish hair, so they are very different looking than many other sixth density entities. But even in this look that they have, they are able to manifest more towards the very second density nature that they are coming from. For instance, humanity, there is a great possibility that when they go to the idea of sixth density, they will either complete more towards the perfect human idea, or they will have a look that reverts back into the monkey look. And this is not an expression of making fun of evolution. It is the idea that an entity prefers its natural setting in a physical way. They are truly having more control of the physical body than all of the other densities combined. Most of the six density entities are what you would call shapeshifters, even entities who look fairly unnormal or abnormal to a human will appear to them as angelic consciousnesses. And it is done this way because they are truly able to manifest physically their bodies into a way that is more acceptable to humans. And this is why most sixth density entities will not be seen in their true form unless they are connecting to other entities who reside in the sixth density or even the fifth density. The fifth density and sixth density are on what you would say to be the same harmonic level. They are vibrating at the same speed, but the angular rotation of each of the uh, atomic subparticles, if you will, are rotating in opposite directions. So they are living in the same space-time, but cannot perceive each other, or at least the fifth cannot perceive the sixth, but the sixth may perceive the fifth in their own dimensional space.
Great, thank you, Treb.
Yes!
The next question comes from Marin, and his question is concerning manifesting manifestation with his beliefs. In other words, the external is the reflection of the internal, and it's coming into his awareness. And he's wondering if you could elaborate on this idea.
I am not sure of the idea that is being expressed here.
Well, he's what he wants to know is how his internal thoughts and awareness is reflecting outwardly to his external reality.
There are many ways this can do this, and there are many levels and many ideas behind this. So let us use an example. For instance, the thoughts that you are having from day to day are a driving force from the oversoul. It is what the oversoul connects with to the fractal, and the fractal is using its own physical brain to produce thoughts, but consciousness has energetically placed this to continually assist this idea. So the brain is functioning more as a computer, while the consciousness is functioning more as the driver of thoughts, ideals, beliefs, energies, emotions. And when this is being done, all of these thoughts are, perhaps as you would say it, quantumly being set into the matrix design. And through this matrix design, this allows these thoughts to be manifested. The idea of law of attraction is perhaps seen differently by many entities, but it is much as a fishing expedition. You are placing your thought upon this hook, and you are throwing it out to the universe, and what you receive back will greatly depend on the energy of the bait that you have used. So when you are placing this um, thought bait on the hook, you must make sure that it is aligned and positive, and as you throw it back, then when you receive this fish, it will be one of great stature, it will be one of great vibration. But many entities are doing this with negative or skewed views upon these thoughts, and they are receiving the rubber boot fish. So it is greatly depending on your own energy as you project this out, and you will be able to see this return back into you from the daily manifestation. The idea is to be consciously aware of these thoughts, to see them going out into the water, and then when you begin to reel them in, remember what bait that you have used, and then you will be able to see this process more clearly.
That's a great analogy. Thank you so much, Treb.
Yes!
Treb, the next question comes from Jasmine, and she just discovered the channelings, our Treb channelings here, and the material resonates with her deeply. And her question is about what kind of hybrid that you are and the population of your world. She understands that you are part reptile. Where does the other part of the hybrid blend come from? What is the other DNA that he contains, and the human DNA? Does it come from Earth? Does this hybrid blend come from humans on Earth or from another world?
Yes! Let us express this in this way, that our race is what you would say to be a hybrid, 50% of an animal that appears much as the Komodo dragon, or much as the um, entity that is in the Permian era, The host is still not remembered this name after several times of being requested by others, because this is perhaps more closely to the second density animal than even a Komodo dragon. But within your day that you have now on Earth, the Komodo dragon is the one that appears to be closest to this idea. So this entity is one half of the genetics of our own race, and within our own race, um, the other half is being represented by small human entities, very short and highly psychic entities that used to preside on the star that is known to be Nihon. This is the race's name that I have given them to represent to the Earth humans. But in fact, these short, highly psychic entities who had mixed their genes with this Komodo dragon style of entity are truly what you would say to be um, probable future humans, ones who are descendants, if you will, of your own race, many generations into the future. And as they are in the future, they begin to become shorter on the new planet that they are in, as much what you would say to be larger. So the gravity becomes larger, and they are becoming shorter to the ground. They are developing their psychic skills, if you will, very sharply and very strongly. And they are going into their own timeline, if you will, or probable future. And within this, they see how the galaxy has judged entities who are reptilian in nature. So, to their own idea, being descendants of Earth humans and knowing once the stigma that is connected to reptilian entities, they express the idea what a beautiful concept it would be to experience the hybridization of our own race with these reptilian entities and to be helped to nurture this race, to help them grow in a way that understand the true nature of a type 1 entity. And then they are giving this as an existence to our whole race. This is a very great gift that they are giving us. And in turn, we are giving this gift of your ancestors back to you. Or let us say your predecessors and not your ancestors.
Yes, thank you, Treb. That was a great explanation.
Yes!
Treb, the next question comes from John. And his question is, what does Treb recall about being human regarding his emotions, experience, and why does he feel so drawn back to human consciousness and the host? What he learned, what he learned from human experience, when someone is going through major changes in his life and they follow their highest excitement and those around them are upset about this change, how does this person handle the stress during this time? What can they do to feel better in the middle of emotional storms, so to speak?
Let us connect to the second idea first. If there are entities who are around you who are behaving negatively to your changes, this is only a fear of theirs. They fear that they are losing the you that you are. But to remind them to the idea that if they truly love you, they will be able to experience you in all ways. And understand that when your vibration changes, and many entities do not, you will no longer perceive them in the same way, and often this leads to separation of these entities. But do not see this as a fearful idea. Do not see this as a negative idea. You are truly losing no one. You are only losing the ability to co create with someone who is vibrationally different than you. And this goes for entities who are higher in vibration than you are as well. Do not see them as arrogant or do not see them as negative because they are trying to express to you the idea of how to be more happy. But if they are teaching and preaching to you that this is the only way that you will be happy, that this is the only way that you may achieve happiness, then truly the vibrations that are within them are not as high as they believe. For entities who are of a true high vibrational nature will understand and accept you at all vibrational level. And this is the level that humans are practicing very hard now, as they understand that any judgment in any form may be detrimental to the growth of any entity. So expressing these ideas to remind yourself that it is acceptable for them to complain and that truly this is only a reflection from within yourself if this is affecting you in this way. and to examine why it is affecting you this way. If you truly love them, if you truly love the path that you are on, this should not bother you at all. Now, let us address this first idea of being able to live in those manifestations as I was a human and remembering back to this idea. Within this idea, I wish to express that reconnecting to my humanity portion of myself, to the host, has been a very exciting thing. It is not that I am drawn out to seek the host or to connect directly to him, even though this is a very great excitement as it is one portion of my oversoul. The true idea is that the host connected outwardly to me. I had always been aware of the host, approximately 33 to 35 years ago. I was aware of the earth and I was aware of the host at the time of his incarnation. But to truly be looking to connect to him is not within my own intention. I understood that the probability was laid within a high probability that if he chose to take a specific path, that I would be able to connect with him, and this in itself was interesting for me as well. So when he chose the path of being able to connect to me, this brought me even more excitement. To remember my human side is not something that I focus into or lock into in any great portions of time, because my past human self is only a probability. If the host changes his vibration, then he will no longer be my probable past self. If I change vibration, then he will no longer be, or I will no longer be his probable future self. So, this idea that the past and future are only truly linked to the now moment within the energy that you are within at this time. I am not able to experience the technology or sound.
Yes, Treb. What I was to expand on that question. Uh, so what you're saying that in the present time there's the ability to connect, but you're saying that there is a possibility in a future timeline that the connection will no longer be there.
The connection will be there as long as the host wishes to, as long as it is still within my life's excitement to connect outwardly to all entities who wish to share ideas, information, and energy with me. So the probability at this time is very high, above a 92 percentile. But if the host chooses to begin to murder other entities, if he chooses to revert back to the idea of disconnection very strongly or very greatly, or if he is making a wild shift, then this will not allow him to be my probable past. This will no longer allow me to be his probable future. So within these ideas, there is a probability of this happening. Even though the probability is low, this is always able to happen. If you change vibrational levels, then what is behind you and what in front of you is truly changing.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. So depending on our vibrational level dictates what vibrational reality that we will experience.
Yes, and it changes the ideas of probabilities of future as well as probabilities of past. And this is all done with a simple thought, a simple belief, and a simple action. If you change any two of these three things, or all three in concert, then you are able to change the probable past and probable futures in an instant.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you can actually change the past to create a different future.
The past and the future truly have nothing to do with one another. It is the change of the now that links you to what you perceive as the past and what you perceive as the future.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Treb.
you are very welcome.
Okay. The next question is from Tafun. His question is, if I work all day and pay living expenses, there's no time for a session. How can I create time to be myself, to help myself, to find myself, to become spiritual?
There are many ideas. Many entities believe that they must work. They must do this job that pays them a certain wage so that they may pay their house payment, so that they may do these things. They are doing several things in a settling way. They are settling for these ideas of what they uh, believe that they must do to make what they want to happen. But this is not the true nature of the way that reality works. There is very high probabilities that if you release a negative job attribute, if you release the belief system that I must work uh, from this hour to this hour to make this amount of money, to be able to pay this bill that needs to be paid within this time, if you are able to release these ideas, to jump into your excitement, to rearrange perhaps the ideas of belief systems that are truly connected to you for financial ideals, the ones that are able to express perhaps what abundance would be for your own meanings. All of these things can be literally changed in a minute. And if you are able to live into those excitements, there is always a way to be abundant from doing this. Many entities have found that simply playing a musical instrument can bring them the amount of money or abundance that they wish to have simply by doing this. They are in the right place at the right time for an entity to express hearing this with joy and expressing, I will have you play within my own orchestra. And within this orchestra, you will be paid to play once a week or once 1 month, and we will pay your house payments and you can live in this dwelling. There are many ways to do this, but your beliefs must be open to this. If you truly wish to speak to me, all you must do is speak to the host. And if you believe that you can find the time to do this, then I will assure you that this will manifest in itself if you do not believe that it will not.
Yes, very good, Treb. Thank you so much for that.
Yes!
Treb, the next question comes from John, and his question is, he was born with general anxiety, so he has to look at the world through eyes of fear. In the new vibration, will he find peace and not need medication?
The idea that you are seeing this world within fear. Many entities believe that this is a problem, that this is a negative attribute. So they are judging this idea, and this brings them more fear. This brings them more anxiety. First, you must release the belief that you have to exist in fear. And the second is if you do in a natural state, that this is a negative thing. There are ideas of being fearful within your own reality. All emotions are acceptable. If you are taking medicine, this is very acceptable as well. But the idea is to not judge yourself for taking this medicine. If you are believing that you wish to remove yourself from medicine and that you are taking it so that you may perhaps be more stable in your own mind, the resentment of taking this medicine is causing more imbalance. So if you believe, and this is your true belief, that taking this medicine will help you be more balanced, then remove the negative stigma away from having to take this medicine. Medicine is a what you would say to be a belief system, or um, I am
Permission slip?
yes. I apologize. The host mind is scrambled at this moment for this specific idea, this permission slip. So by taking this, this is truly your consciousness balancing itself outwardly. And this is very acceptable as well. So do not judge yourself for what medicine you believe you have to take. Do not judge yourself for living in fear in some areas. This fear is teaching you something, and this is why you are continuously feeling this. Be aware of your own thoughts. Be aware that if you wish to have less fear, that this is very possible. You must rearrange the belief systems that you have them within.
That's a great explanation. Thank you so much, Treb.
Yes!
Okay, Treb, that's the end of our general questioning. I was hoping you would be able to discuss current events in terms of recently we had this astrological configuration of a Merkaba in the alignment of certain stars. Could you explain that concept to us?
Can you express this idea? The technology was cutting out in this time.
Oh, recently in astrological events, there was a formation of a Merkaba that appeared in a certain alignment in the solar system regarding planets and the alignments of them. Are you aware of this? And can you please explain what this means to us here on Earth?
Yes! This idea is the astrological charts that are being made by humans to express the cycles of the solar systems that they are within and also the constellations that they are within. In the birthing date within the yesterday's date, which is approximately is the 7th month in the 29th day of the 2013th year of the Earth time. And within this time, the date of birth, star chart, if you will, is in exact Merkaba. And within this is a symbolization of the ending of one energetic cycle, which is the one that we have just recently been through, within the idea of what this galaxy's energy is coming from one area to the next. You would consider this to be the Mercury retrograde that the host believed responsible for beating up the consciousnesses of many, ending of that cycle, and the birthing into this new cycle of energy. As I have expressed, in the 1.5 week time of August is the beginning of a new cycle. This perfect balance, this perfect symbolatry, is truly a representation or a symbolism of energy being brought to Earth at a perfect scale. The energies that you have just experienced has forced many things to the surface, has made you look at many ideas, look at many faulty belief systems. And now, within this new energy that is coming very soon to your Earth, you will be represented with new beginnings. You will be represented with the ideals of how to remove the entire old belief systems and to rebuild ones that are positive for you. So, within these two cycles coinciding together, in the middle meets this Merkaba symbolism.
Wow, that's wonderful, Treb. So what you're saying is in August we will experience as a collective a more kinder, gentler type of energy that is more balanced versus higher or lower.
Um, Perhaps I will give this to you in this way. Um, those who are able to perceive this in this way will truly find this ease of consciousness, but those who are still resisting to the changes within them will find this as difficult or more difficult than the last cycle.
I see. I see. So how should our mindsets be to knowing this ahead of time? How should our mindsets be set to be able to uh, turn this into a positive period in time versus experiencing the negative portion?
The idea is to be who you are truly, living in your day, living in the moment, trying to be, finding excitements, trying to be finding your own energy, but also to remember that all belief systems that no longer serve you, all of these fears that you have to let go, all of these things that you see, I must do, remove this from your own vision. Remind yourself that you are truly a powerful creator. You are no longer needing to half step. You are no longer needing to drag your feet. You are able to create at a magnificent magnitude. So if you wish to do this, then you must step forward. The lack of stepping forward will result in continuous stumbling. If you are able to see it in this way, plus being your own self, plus living in the now, plus not projecting in futures or past, this is what will truly make this experience one of the greatest experiences in your existence.
Wonderful, Trub. Thank you so much for that that piece of valuable information. I hope the listeners really take that to heart and put that in their heart. And with that, that really ends all of the questions. If there's any parting statement you'd like to express to us and to our listeners, please feel free to do so, Treb.
Yes, I wish to express to you all that this has been a very great evening. This has been a very great lines of questionings. This has been a very great co-creation of knowledge, co-creation of friendship, and co-creation of excitedness. And within your daily existence, if you bring this excitedness, this manifestational ability to your daily existence, then you can truly feel as happy as you are now in all times. I will not continue to express more ideas as the host body is basically becoming very tired. So I wish to express one last idea that I love all of you and I'm very grateful to you as well, my friend, for helping co-create this idea. And with this being expressed, I will leave you all in love and in light. And we will experience each other again soon, my friend.
Thank you, Treb. Love and light to you as well.
Good night.
Good night.